Mary Magdalene. One of the most fascinating persons in the ministry of Jesus was a woman we really don't know much about. At the same time, she was one of the inner circle of the followers of Jesus in the gospel narratives. Her name is Mary, and we know her better as Mary Magdalene. Although she is mentioned sparingly in Scripture, at the same time, she is mentioned at critical points in the ministry of Jesus in all four Gospels. She is mentioned by name 12 times in the canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, more than most of the apostles, and more than any other woman in the Gospel other than Jesus' family. Mary Magdalene is known in some Christian traditions as the Apostle to the Apostles. Her name suggests that she came from Magdala, a large fishing city on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee. She was present in the events surrounding the crucifixion of Jesus, and she waited at the tomb to attend to his body for burial. Matthew writes, many women were there also, looking on at a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and provided for him. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. An angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples." As they left the tomb, the risen Jesus appeared to them with the words, "Do not be afraid." There is a hymn that we often sing, especially at the Easter season, entitled "In the Garden." I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses. The scriptural foundation for the hymn words are taken from the Gospel according to John chapter 20. Early on the morning of resurrection, Mary Magdalene comes to the tombs and is confronted by the risen Lord, but she thinks he's the gardener. The risen Jesus tells her to go and tell his disciples that he is ascending to his Father. Mary responds with the words, "I have seen the Lord." Some feel that she rivals Peter and that she received revelations from the risen Christ to pass on to the rest of the apostles. Many biblical scholars believe that Mary Magdalene played a more dominant role in the ministry of Jesus than she's given credit for. The many gospel passages in the Bible where Mary is listed as a key follower of Jesus probably gave rise to the romantic portrayals of Mary as the devoted follower whom Jesus had saved from her errant ways. Luke writes that Mary and other women had been cured of evil spirits and infirmities, and Mary had 7 demons taken from her. The portrayal of Mary Magdalene as a prostitute began in the year 591, when Pope Gregory I identified Mary Magdalene, who was introduced in Luke with Mary of Bethany and the unnamed sinful woman who anointed Jesus' feet. Pope Gregory's Easter sermon resulted in a widespread belief that Mary Magdalene was a repentant prostitute or promiscuous woman. This bad interpretation of Scripture was carried on for many years until it was finally scripturally disproven. By the 3rd century, when the Christian community was more organized at the Council of Nicaea, male leadership became more dominant, and the role of women was reduced. The Gospel of Luke lists Mary Magdalene as one of the women who traveled with Jesus and helped support his ministry out of their resources, indicating that she was probably wealthy. Mary Magdalene is also a central figure in later Gnostic Christian writings, which were not accepted by the early church as Holy Scripture. These texts portray Mary Magdalene as an apostle, as Jesus' closest and most beloved disciple, and the only one who truly understood his teachings. In the Gnostic texts, or Gnostic Gospels, Mary Magdalene's closeness to Jesus results in tension with another disciple, Peter, due to her sex and Peter's envy of the special teachings given to her. Closeness of Mary Magdalene and Jesus led some to believe they had a romantic relationship. In the play, Jesus Christ Superstar, Mary sings the song, I Don't Know How to Love Him. While Mary was a strong follower and supporter of Jesus, there is no mention of any romantic relationship in Scripture. On this special Sunday, when we lift up women of faith, we lift up all the faithful women who supported the ministry of Jesus, especially Mary Magdalene. She is a fascinating woman of faith. We only wish we knew more about her. We do know that she was committed to her Lord and an example for each one of us to follow. Do not be afraid.